Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. So for today's video, it's by Steve Razanak, brilliant name, wants to know about Independence Day movie scenes. Here is Steve's message, thank you very much. That was cool. Here's an idea. Can you do Independence Day fight scenes, expand to show more? Scene 1 there, scene 2 there. Please do an in-depth one, frame by frame, even if necessary. You can blah, 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 blah. I'd like if we cover all the details of how accurate are the scenes. Of course, the aircraft and missile physics characteristics, but I'd like also to pay attention to all screens, knobs, HUD accuracy, sound, warning lights, how much sense they make when shown in an event. For example, the behind enemy scenes when the whole aeroplane is cut in half and they show the APU warning fire, which is IMO less significant to be focusing on. Rather, it should be a wider shot of all the warning lights to make sense. Continuing whether the pilot is pressing the correct buttons, whether the actual correct stick for the aircraft, etc. Take time and don't rush it to sit back and watch such analysis. People that can't be bothered to skip, but we can't extend video, ha. Don't understand that. It's a similar type of video that I already liked watching with civilian aircraft, Hollywood versus reality by 74 Gear. I really enjoyed the executive decision episode. Don't know what that means either. Thank you very much, Steve. Let's go and check it out. Warning, if you're a big fan of Independence Day, do not watch this because it will ruin your day. Okay, let's go with scene 1. Off we go. Lots of F-18s. Beautiful Will Smith. Okay, it's really hard to tell exactly what's going on here, but that is okay. First things first, a little bit of a disagreement here. We're obviously in F-18s or FA-18s here, but according to internets, the FA-18A, which we're guessing this is here, should have been upgraded to the FA-18C by now. This film was what, 1994, RC?
Yes.
The FA-18As started upgrade for FA-18Cs in 1987, we believe. So by 1984, this should be an FA-18C. We're going to treat it as an FA-18C. There's a HUD there. It's so blurred and far in, I can't really tell. So I'm just going to carry on.
Holy God.
Lock and load.
They don't say lock and load.
Knights, we are red and free. Night 1.
We've got a SMS page from something. It's presumably from an FA-18A. Actually, I wouldn't even say that. It's probably a Hollywood bastardized version of an SMS page. The idea is there, kind of shows the layout of the aircraft and missiles and selected missile and stuff like that. But this is certainly not an FA-18C and might have some resemblance to an FA-18A. But I don't know. You guys will have to let me know. I've never been in that. But it's got probably gun ammo up there. That doesn't exist as far as I'm aware. It's got a load of kind of auxiliary hydraulics, battery, canopy. I don't know why that would be on an SMS page. Some stuff here. We've got an M-fuse there. I can't read that there. Mode, M-fuse, and something. So it's like a bastardized, weird SMS Hollywood thing by the looks of things. Let's carry on. Go back there. So on the SMS page, the thing what happens in Hollywood is that it likes to fit everything on one-to-one screen. So it's basically put everything and put it on this one screen, this SMS page, because it doesn't like showing all the different screens, which is what you use in a real aircraft. You know, locked information is mainly going to be up in the HUD there, and they don't want to show the HUD for some reason. So locked, it doesn't show locked or anything down here in this SMS page. Let's carry on. Hey, right, okay, so he's Fox 3. That is a correct call. That means he's firing a fully active radar homing missile. Now, this here is not a Fox 3. I don't know what it is. That's a real missile. That's a Sidewinder. That's a Fox 2. This looks like some sort of a weird anti-ship missile hybrid or something. As far as I can see, it's not a real missile. It's not an AIM-7. It's not an AIM-120. I don't think this aircraft carried any more other air-to-air missiles. And I can also tell it's not a real missile because look at the rocket booster motor that comes out there. It's a tiny little firecracker rocket booster there of like a couple of pounds thrust. So this must be a kind of cardboard missile or something like that for it to go. A real missile obviously weighs several tens or hundreds of pounds. So this is Hollywood's bastardization of what a Fox 3 should look like. Okay, let's go with it. At least it's got some smoke and it's coming off the rails. It sort of looks sort of realish. Go again. On the kind of how you can tell it's a bastardized version on the SMS page here, you got pretty graphics of a missile flying off. Of course, that is not a thing because a pilot doesn't need to know, you know, when a missile is looking pretty like that. It's just not a thing. So this coming off the left inner pylon of the wing, it is again the made-up missile with the 1 pound rocket motor. This is, I guess, actually I don't know. I was going to say this is before CG kind of graphics, so they had to do this kind of missile mock-up. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I can't really be sure, but okay, for whatever reason they've done it this way. It does look kind of cool. If you don't know missiles, it looks kind of cool. Carry on. Another one. all the missiles in the world. I don't see why that couldn't happen. You'd have to get everyone to fire at once, and we've done things like that before. So the reality is you wouldn't be able to get a radar lock on that big thing there. Well, I highly doubt it. But you could fire these missiles, what we call Mad Dog, so fire them without a radar lock. All that seems possible. Note how the warheads appear to be going off. Now, would a warhead go off? To set the warhead off, presumably you'd have to set the fuse off, which would be a proximity laser or radio or other. Would this quote-unquote force field set that off? I don't know. I'm not a spaceship guy, I'm afraid. Would those warheads go off if they just hit into this quote-unquote force field? Honestly, no idea. I get the feeling probably not, but I don't know. This, whatever this is just pure make-believe. None of this is real.
Not getting through?
No, sir, not one.
So they're switching to these missiles now. They fire the Fox 3s. They're switching to their Fox 2s. Those are passive infrared heat-seeking missiles, and it skipped a little bit on, and they're firing them. I guess they're just mad dogging again because they wouldn't be able to lock onto something like this with a missile with a warhead that's designed to lock onto the jet exhaust of another jet. Again, the warheads are going off. Warheads look about the same size as the Fox 3 warheads, but in reality, a Fox 3 will almost always have a much larger warhead. Now, that's not always true. If we look at, there are some more modern small ones, but generally speaking, the Sidewinder warheads are going to be smaller.
They must have some kind of protective shield over that whole
Yes,
night.
well, that appeared to be a real stick. Yes, that's right. Trim hat there. We've got our sensor select hat there, and we've got our weapons release button there. Our trigger to fire the missiles are down there. It's nice and worn. It looks quite cool. Can't really get a good enough look at these buttons down here. Now, certainly for an FA-18C, there would be which these should be. There should be an AMPCD. No, that's going to be the AMPCD, isn't it? So. Let's carry on. Have a look at that HUD. Is there anything? It's really blurry. It does sort of look FA-18 HUD-ish. There's some... I really need some more input from a real pilot here, but let's just double check. These stuff down here. Let's go and look at an FA-18C HUD, shall we? Stand by. Just picked a random video here of an FA-18C. That is what we've got, you see. We do have the warning lights here and here, but they look very different, and the HUD controller is basically pretty much blank on the FA-18C, at least the Block 20 that we get. It's possible, it's just a bit of a different version to what we've got. Let's carry on. Someone pointed out correctly that you do not put two hands on a stick. There would never be need to, because you don't need to put much pressure on a stick because it's fly-by-wire jet. So one hand is always all you will ever need, and the other hand will always be on the thrust stick. Baddies are coming out. I cannot offer realistic advice on the baddies because I don't know what aliens are.
I'll have to go to an alien expert for that.
Apparently they have shields too, look. Okay, this thing does not exist. Nothing more to say on that. Phasers certainly do not exist, and if they did, I don't see any reason why the phaser bullets would only go at about 600 knots, so it's very odd.
Oh no, you did not shoot that green shit at me.
No swearing, please, William.
I got you covered, Big Daddy.
Back to the SMS page. Same comments as before. Okay. That's weird. So, what we've got is, this is the FA-18 stick, but it's now mirrored itself. They must have mirrored this scene, because that is an FA-18 stick, but it's the wrong way around. The trim hat there is actually on the right-hand side, that is in the middle, and that there button is on the left. So they've done a weird mirror, and what he's pressing with his hand, with his thumb, is what we call the SCS sensor select switch. I'm pretty sure, yes, it is that one, which does not fire a missile, will never fire a missile. It does miscellaneous features with weaponry and other, depending on how you're using your MFDs. That is a button for dropping bombs, essentially. That trigger there is how you fire a missile. And let's just check he does it. No, he just presses the sensor select switch, moves it up and left in a weird mirrored scene that they expect no one to notice. And the missile that's a completely fake, it looks like a penguin or something, anti-ship missile, fires with its 1 kilo rocket motor. Not doing too well so far. This missile here has hit the shield. It's presumably a Sidewinder. Presumably wouldn't work because this guy presumably doesn't have a gas-burning jet exhaust, so I don't think that would work.
Damn, they got shields too.
That scene there is an F-18. Look, even the ejector seat that's going out, that's pretty cool. And look, it's got all the fuel coming out and exploding out of it. So they took a lot of time on that scene there, and that fuel is going to presumably explode. Or not, it just does that. But that's a pretty cool scene. Pretty detailed. It's just a model, obviously, but pretty cool. Amazing what you do with models.
Jesus, this isn't happening fast enough. Get him out of there!
That doesn't exist. I mean, I suppose that was supposed to be a glorified situational awareness scope or something. Come on back. I don't know what that was supposed to be. It was a load of tosh, whatever it was.
Where's the picture?
We've lost the satellite.
We've lost a satellite. They've lost a satellite. Why did they need a satellite again? I'll see. Because data link would just be radio waves.
So they
Just be UHF radio waves.
right.
Or actually, before UHF,
Lost the camera.
they've lost the camera. Yeah. Okay. Basically, everything was wrong. Let's try the second one. I haven't had a look at this yet. That's a cool scene. Right. We've got to analyse that. So we've got some Tomcats down there. It appears, or they F-15s. It's kind of hard to. It's low res VHF stuff, isn't it? VHS. I'm pretty sure they're Tomcats. Down at the bottom.
Yeah. Yep.
Tomcats. They. Wonder what that is. I don't know what that is. Let me. F-18s, 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 F-18s. Pretty cool scene. Someone had a lot of fun making that scene.
Hold on, Command.
What is that? It's they're Harriers. Sorry, they're Harriers. Yep, they're Harriers. They're AV-8Bs by the looks of things. There, and there. Okay. Would they fly in a massive thing like this? No, obviously not. Does it look awesome? And should they have done it? Yes. Yes, they should have.
I want another shot at it.
Sir, I strongly recommend you disengage.
Eagle 1.
The president's now in an F-18, question mark? Okay. I'll leave that to you guys to decide if it's realistic or not. Stupid missile, fake SMS. Fires the missile, Mad Dog. Hits. Oh, it exploded, look.
Squadron leaders, fire at will, fire at will.
Interestingly, these missiles, I mean, these missiles are designed to take down aeroplanes. The way they work is they fire, they sense a proximity of an aircraft with, if you like, sensors almost kind of splashing out to the side like this. When these missiles are kind of level with the aircraft is when they explode, and they send a ring of shrapnel essentially around a 3 to 60 degree ring like that with a forward moment, because these missiles are going several times the speed of sound usually. So would that have any effect on a big ship like that? No, it would literally, little pellets. I mean, you can fire these type of missiles against radars, and the pellets, the things will just bounce off the radars, the shrapnel, because depending on what type of radar it is, you know, I've literally seen a Patriot being hit by a warhead similar to this, and the submunitions in here just kind of bounce off it and ding off it. Bearing that in mind, and a radar is not heavily armoured, and the reason is because these are extremely fragile aircraft, you know, it does not take a lot to shoot them down. Would a massive, mile-long thing have any effect on those tiny little shrapnel ribbons or balls or whatever? Probably not. But maybe it's these secret Independence Day 1 kilo missiles that are going to do it. I guess must have a special warhead.
Eagle 6 at 7.
Eagle 5 at 3.
Eagle 1. Box 2. Eagle 20. Box 2.
Eagle 20. So a typical flight would go up to what, 4 RC? Do you ever have flights of more than 4? So
I would.
so Eagle. So I think it's an Eagle or whatever it is. Would be up to 4. And it would be a 4-man flight. Then you'd have the next flight, which would be, I don't know, Rhino 1 to 4, and so on. You wouldn't have massive flights like this. Well, maybe you would if it was Independence Day and you didn't have time to set flights out or something. Maybe you could. Right? We'll give them that. We'll give them that. I'll see.
The national emergency. What are you talking
Okay.
about?
All right. Are those warheads A, look anything like that? B as big as that? No and no. They're relatively small warheads. They don't actually have much flame if you go and look at one. And I'm not talking about the plane exploding. If you go and watch it on YouTube, the plane exploding will make a big boom, but the actual missile makes a flash and some smoke, really. And they're very small warheads, these missiles. Definitely wouldn't do that.
Evasive maneuvers. Squadron leaders. Evasive maneuvers. Prepare to engage.
Okay, right. Actually, that's not bad. That is a real F-18 attack radar, which is generally surprising that they actually got that. Again, this must be the A model that they're using. I'm not familiar with the cockpit of the A models. I can't say, is that a button in there? Is that a button there? It's probably fake.
Real.
I mean, have you ever seen a button? No, that's fake there. That's not real. This thing, well, I'm going to get trouble. I don't know the 18A cockpit, so I don't want to get myself in trouble. But this is a real attack radar, or at least a simulation of it. That's what I mean. That's real. That's real. All looks very real. You've got the chevron there for the antenna of our radar. We would see that's our B sweep there. We've got what looks like an STT. Let's just go back. That red box going in is pure Hollywood, so this it looks like it's a Hollywood version of an attack radar. We've got altitude of 16,000 feet, and I can't read what that is. We're on a medium PRF at the moment, and I can't read what that says down there. No range scale, interestingly. Even the A model would have had a range scale, right? And there is actually no target there. It's like they've taken a real radar screen, taken a load of stuff away from it, and put this red stuff, and the red stuff is like Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no actual target. There's no TDC. There's no target.
So people know the narrative. They see target locked and they know target's locked.
Right. So it's simple. It's like the SMS page. It's a simplified, bastardized version of it. What did you fire there? I didn't hear a call there, but that is a Sidewinder. Again, a Sidewinder. I don't know anything that much about alien ships, but I don't think they've got turbojet engines or gas-burning engines, which is what these things are designed to lock onto. Passive IR heat-seeking warheads, but apparently they do. You could argue maybe these, because these are going fast, there's a lot of air friction and therefore heat generated. It's highly unlikely that the Sidewinder could lock onto them like that. We've tested this in our simulator, and air friction is not enough that we've found to attain a Seeker lock, and I don't think there's going to be much else of interest. HUD looks good, actually, and you can see it's got a little radar lock, TDC. It's got the target designator box, which is real. Funny HUD colour, but it may just be the movie. Otherwise, you got your witch's hat, your water blind, you got your altitude, you got your speed and CAS. It's pretty cool HUD.
All right, baby, I've got you.
So it's a fake slash modelled attack radar. Stupid missile warheads that just don't exist.
We're running out of missiles, sir. We're just not causing enough damage.
Stop. It switched to a right hand stick again. So this is not in reverse. This is the normal way up. And he's pressing. It's just they've reused the same thing but mirrored it again. And he's using the sensor control switch again to fire it. Oh god, that's so frustrating. Instead of the trigger. That is a real Sidewinder, the body, but it's not a real Sidewinder. It's just got a little 1 pound toy rocket motor engine on. At least the shape of the missile is right this time. It's going to do something. It's a bit dramatic, isn't it, RC? Flying all this way with this massive mole ship to open up this thing that's going to do what? It's going to destroy a building or something. I mean, that is really wasting your carbon footprint, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm out of missiles.
They're worried about that.
Incredibly inefficient way of destroying a building or a city or whatever. Send this thing over.
Jesus.
Oh, we didn't get the end of it. Okay, well, there you go. Basically, every single thing was wrong. There was nothing that was right, apart from Will Smith, who we all love. I've taken the liberty of recording how it actually works in an FA-18C Block 20. Please enjoy. Okay, welcome to the FA-18C cockpit. So, we're going to go master arm on, make sure it's on. It is air-to-air. This is our SMS, our stored management system. We've got here our Sidewinders. This is what the real one actually looks like. We've got our AMRAAMs, our medium-range Fox 3 missiles, our gun ammo, our arm status, and we're going to select the AMRAAM for use. You can see the selected AMRAAM is here, and we can change various modes on it. The size, we're going to look for a large target with a large radar cross-section because it's the big alien mothership. That is that done. Over to our attack forward-facing radar screen. There is the mothership. We're going to move our TDC to it, lock it with an STT, and we're going to fire a missile at it. Now to fire the missile, he does not press the button here that he presses. Instead, we're going to use a trigger. Imagine that forefinger wrapped around the front. There's a trigger at the front. That is how he fires the missile. Box 3. Hope you enjoyed that, and see you later.